It was a decade ago, and less than 1 year into his first term, Bill Clinton was in trouble. After a series of early political missteps, support for the new president was plummeting. Desperate to stop the erosion of his support, Clinton and his White House advisors decided to pick a fight with America's law-abiding gun owners. It was a cynical ploy designed to score points with so-called soccer moms, whose support was seen as critical to Clinton's political future. The centerpiece of the anti-gun strategy was a ban on certain firearms the anti-gun lobby deliberately mislabeled as assault weapons. For the White House, it appeared to be the perfect wedge issue, likely to scare and capture suburban voters at the polls in the upcoming midterm elections, while erasing voters' increasing doubts about Clinton's leadership ability by casting him as tough on crime. On Capitol Hill, however, many lawmakers, including members of the president's own party, weren't so sure. To win support for the Clinton gun ban, the White House packaged the ban in a massive crime bill that promised something for everyone and mounted an aggressive lobbying and public relations effort on its behalf. It was a campaign based on emotion, not fact. But by the slimmest of margins, Congress passed the Clinton crime bill, and with it, the Clinton gun ban. With Election Day just weeks away, Bill Clinton basked in the glow of his greatest legislative achievement. But the celebration would be short-lived. On November 5, 1994, voters across America made clear what they thought about Bill Clinton's attack on the rights of law-abiding gun owners. In one of the most sweeping defeats in the history of the United States, dozens of gun ban backers, including several of the longest-serving and most influential members of Congress, were dumped by voters. House Speaker Tom Foley, who had abandoned his previous support for gun owners' rights to cast a key vote for the gun ban's passage, became the first sitting Speaker of the House to lose a re-election bid in 134 years. For the first time in 4 decades, Republicans had majorities in the U.S. Senate and House of Representatives. Far from being the ideal wedge issue, the decision to push the Clinton gun ban through Congress had proven to be one of the biggest and most disastrous miscalculations in American political history. There's no question the Clinton gun ban was a political debacle, but the high price its supporters paid at the polls seems even greater when viewed from a policy standpoint. The Democrats' congressional majorities were not lost in a fight for a great principle. Rather, they were sacrificed by Bill Clinton in the name of short-term political expediency. The Clinton gun ban was the height of style over substance. With no facts to support their arguments in favor of the ban, its backers resorted to intentional deception. At the time of its passage, criminologists and law enforcement agencies had already found that so-called assault weapons were involved in only about 1% of crimes, a figure that has not changed since the ban was adopted. Even the Washington Post, which had editorialized relentlessly in support of the ban, called the law mainly symbolic. That's because the banned firearms are functionally no different than hundreds of other types of legal guns owned by millions of law-abiding citizens. The banned firearms use the same ammunition and fire exactly the same as firearms commonly used by hunters and competitive shooters. The only thing that separates the banned guns from legal firearms is their appearance. The law prohibits the manufacture of semi-automatic firearms with 2 or more features such as pistol grips, barrel shrouds, and bayonet mounts. No advocate of the ban has ever shown the relevance of these characteristics to criminal activity. Despite constant media misrepresentations, the guns banned under the law are not machine guns. True assault weapons, machine guns capable of fully automatic fire, have effectively been banned since 1934. Not one gun banned in 1994 is a machine gun. Less than 2 years after its passage in the House by a mere 2 votes, in a remarkable turnaround, a solid bipartisan majority in the House of Representatives voted to repeal the entire Clinton gun ban, a clear indication that support for this ill-conceived prohibition had evaporated. In light of the political and policy failures of the Clinton gun ban, why are its supporters so committed to its reenactment? Because the law's biggest backers have a much broader agenda. As one gun ban supporter wrote, the real justification for the ban isn't to reduce crime, but to desensitize the public to the regulation of weapons in preparation for their ultimate confiscation. California Senator Dianne Feinstein admitted as much when she told 60 Minutes, "If I could have gotten 51 votes in the Senate of the United States for an outright ban, Mr. and Mrs. America turn them all in, I would have done it." Today, Congress is once again considering the Clinton gun ban, and opponents of the Second Amendment are up to their old tricks, repeating the same tired falsehoods that were used to deliberately mislead members of Congress in 1994. But unlike in 1994, when enough members of Congress were deceived into supporting the measure by emotional claims and fear of political retribution, today's lawmakers know the truth about the Clinton gun ban and the myth of so-called assault weapons. And they know that in the 1994 elections, members of Congress who betrayed the trust of America's law-abiding firearms owners were turned out of office in record numbers. Now, more than ever, America needs serious solutions from Congress for real problems. Empty rhetoric and fraudulent legislation like the Clinton gun ban should be rejected in favor of common-sense, rational proposals that will focus on criminals and protect the rights of law-abiding American citizens. Once again, Congress has a choice. It can focus on firearms, Mr. and Mrs. America turn them all in, or it can focus on violent criminals. Lock them all up.